to you live from an upload speed of 1.17 megabytes per second. It's time for Destiny Down Under.
G'day and welcome to the 222nd episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast, the Richie Benno episode, Matt. We've made it 222.
What does that mean? Is that a football? Is that a football reference?
Fuck it, you don't know Richie Benno. Oh my god, I'm gonna get Nick. Nick is gonna murder you. Like actually,
who is that?
You don't know who Rich? I can't tell if you're throwing off.
I'm not throwing. Who?
I don't know, but I'm unimpressed. Richie Benno. He was
Is it
a
a
fucking cricket commentator. For God's sake.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck. Everyone's saying no audio.
What? None.
Hold on.
Like what? There's no audio whatsoever?
It seems really low.
Why is it really low? What's happened?
No. Okay. I think they're just trolling. Great. Audio's fine.
I hate our chat. I'm just going to throw it out there now. Fucking.
Oh,
fuck
no, you don't
all
hate
you
our
idiots.
chat. You hate my chat.
The fucking idiots that you bring into this stream by rating. Whether you're here in live in person or you're listening to it, fuck you. That's the kind of day it is. Matt doesn't know who Richie Benno is. He eats fucking pizza with a knife and fork like a weirdo. My reality is in free fall. What the fuck have you been doing this week, Matt?
Oh, hold on. Can I just back up a sec?
What?
Fuck cricket. Cricket's the most boring bullshit on the face of the fucking planet. And the only people that watch cricket are Australians and India. That's it, man.
And the English.
So, and Pakistan. All right. So, and
The
okay,
English.
maybe English as well.
Yeah.
No one else gives a fuck.
I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to throw this out there. I 100%
They stop
agree.
for lunch. They stop for lunch, log.
That's because it goes for 4 years.
It's because it's boring as fuck. Even the players are bored of it.
I agree. There's no contact in it. I don't give a shit. I don't want to know about it. I'm happy enough just to let it slide. I know that I'll aggravate people that I love dearly. I've got family members who've literally played for the country, but at the same time, I don't give a fuck. I've pretended for long enough that I care about cricket. And you know what? Any fucking game where you just hit a ball with a stick can fuck off. It's a shit game. Find me something. Ice hockey gets a pass because it's violent. That's it. There we go. What do you reckon, man?
Well,
Tell me a good sport where you hit something with a stick.
what's that? What about that? Isn't there like a South American like ancient sport where they basically peg a hockey ball around with these like?
It was kind of like, yeah, I've seen
and
it.
people died and shit because they're like just yeeting around a hocky ball.
Yeah, because it wasn't a hockey ball though. It was just like a fucking leather-coated rock. Which is like incredibly fucking badass when you think about it, but at the same time, not real. You know, that wouldn't get a pass these days with all the fucking.
You know, I feel like if we were friends during high school, we would have come up with like, hey, what sport can we do to get to the Olympics? Like with the least amount of effort.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What do you reckon we would have done? Because
Well,
I've already got the answer.
What?
I've already got the answer, but I want to know what your fucking bag of cat's brain is going to come out with. Hang on.
Well, it has to be something with like no skill.
Yeah.
Which is hard if you're going for the Olympics. I don't know, man.
Would you settle for the Winter Olympics?
The what?
The Winter Olympics.
Yeah, we can go cold. Yeah, but it's a bit hard to practice.
Bobsled team.
Dude, I feel like but you can die in that. No.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have something that's inherently safe that requires no skill. That's not a sport. That's sitting at home.
Right now, there's 5 Jamaicans really fucking angry with you because bobsledding is a skill, okay?
I've seen Cool Runnings. I think Cool Runnings is fucking amazing, but at the same time, what about the skeleton?
You dead, man? Yeah,
the one where you fucking go down front ways. That seems more our speed. I can see you fucking hurtling down the luge track on the thing by yourself head first, just going, ah!
But surely curling is like pretty, it's not Australian, but it's close to lawn bowls. And lawn bowls is bloody Aussie.
Is that the one where you sweep? Because I always get that and hurling mixed up, which is probably the only other cool stick sport, right? Where it's the one where you fucking, it's like kind of like AFL, but with the sticks. It's pretty wild. I remember sitting in a bar at like 4 a.m. in Hong Kong watching it, going, I can get on board with this. Don't know why. Anyway.
Wasn't there? I know we're way off track, but
it does, look, we've got 2 lots of fucking guns to talk about. That's about it. It's Bungie's fault we're off track.
Wasn't there like a really big controversy with some American snowboarder that like basically worked the system to get into the Olympics? So she went to like, she went to all these regions that had like really easy qualifiers because they were like, I don't know, regional or like didn't have many people. And she didn't break the rules, but she just absolutely abused them. And she wasn't very good. And I'm pretty sure when she did the Olympic trial, she just went up the half pipe and down, and that was her run. Didn't do any tricks.
But like, part of me is like, I respect that because you know what? She probably lived out a dream of going to the Olympics. But no one's dream is to go to the Olympics and fucking embarrass yourself on like the international stage.
Unless you're that fucking speed skater.
What? Oh, Stephen Bradbury.
Bradbury.
Australia's first fucking gold medalist in the Winter Olympics won because everyone else fell over. And honestly, everyone here will back me up. In Australia, if you get like, say you get a job because there's no one else wants the job, it's called getting a fucking Bradbury. Like, it's part of our vernacular. There were no other options. You got it. So it's like the shoe-in call. Eric the Eel, another great Olympian. Did he even make it to the end of the 50-meter pool? He looked like he was going to drown. I think everyone's instincts kicked in and. See, we could talk about anything, and that's why we've got the Patreon cast, I guess. But maybe we should start while Destiny's in the like lull moments, just flexing into Log and Matt talk about the Olympics for half an hour, and then Destiny and punch holes and shit. I don't know.
When's the next Olympics? Are we meant to have one soon?
Isn't it? Is it this year or next year? It's in Beijing, though, isn't it? Is it in Beijing? No, it's in Japan. It's Tokyo. Yeah. No, I'm thinking I'm getting it mixed up with the one.
Haven't we already been to Tokyo?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they just got it again. I can't see it happening, man. I can't see it fucking happening.
Oh, here's the weird thing, man, is like, doesn't the Olympics like just bankrupt fucking countries?
Yeah. Like you go and look at the infrastructure that they built for the Greece Olympics, right? Back when it was fucking, I don't know, what year was that? 2004 maybe? And it's literally all crumbling and falling apart, and the bill for it completely fucked their economy. So, you know, naturally, Brisbane have gone for it. The geniuses. You can't even host fucking State of Origin correctly, let alone that.
Mate, I think I remember seeing like the memes. Maybe it was Greece. And remember the toilets were like facing each other and shit?
Just, I done a shit. High five. Would you do that? A tandem, go for a tandem shit? Not for me.
Dude, whenever I watch like, go on.
There was a pub in Newcastle where I live, my hometown. That it was called the Crown and Anchor, and it used to have a half height door in between, like a half height wall between two toilets. And everyone was like, This is the crookest thing. Who would ever take a shit in there? And you know what? No one ever took a shit in there, so they never fucking had to probably clean it because you would have to take a shit making direct eye contact with someone else. So you just went in there for a piss. That was it.
Get this. I just remember this and it gave me fucking anxiety. my first job, actually it wasn't even my first job, as a student occupational therapist, one of the largest, our main hospital, Royal Perth Hospital, in the middle of a city, okay? Yep. It's for real emergencies, acute trauma, is right in the heart of the city.
Yep.
Right? The occupational therapy department's in the basement. Literally. I'm not fucking joking. There was not a door on the shitter. It was a curtain. A shower curtain.
That can't be hygienic in a hospital of all fucking places.
So it's
like you can get a door from Bunnings for fucking $15.
Obviously, I've never used it. Because why would you? I mean, you're in a hospital, so you know, like anywhere, you find a place to
find your favorite. Else. Yeah.
It's like any job like that. You find like your shitter.
Yeah,
like
the one that's out of the way. That's like no one goes to. Yeah.
No one goes to. Yeah. It's clean. But can you believe that? Like like people would use it to do a piss and that. And but the thing is,
it's a crushing indictment on the West Australian medical system, isn't it?
I was, OT, I would have been like one of two males in the department. Can you imagine going to the toilet and just letting a fart go? Just like, and the whole department hears you fucking just let her drop your guts, mate.
I mean, I think you missed an opportunity to go in there and really fucking assert your dominance.
Just like stink out the whole department. And it was almost in the middle. It was almost in the middle of the department. Like you could do a shit and it would waft to the open plan area. Like if you really wanted to hurt people, you could save up a week's worth of crap. And just stink out the department. And then this is the funny thing. Can you imagine your supervisor going, look, can you not do massive shits in the toilet? Like, where am I meant to do them? This is the toilet you've provided. Joke's on you, mate.
Yeah. I could tell horror stories of, working in fucking steel plants, but man, the worst one was that someone once took a shit in the shower. And there was this full-blown fucking investigation going around trying to figure out who it was that did it because it was a health and safety risk. So there was like a safety alert came out. Someone defecated in the shower.
Hold on. We're way off track. Another story.
I mean, we're not going to get any closer to on track, I don't think. Anyway, if you're having a bad time, turn it off or leave. That's your options.
Right. I don't know how you do this, but my mate's like a underground. He's a driller, right? And I didn't know this. I'm like, where do you shit? You're like, you shit in a bucket, mate. I'm like, what do you mean you shit in a bucket? Like, well, there's no toilets down there.
Yeah,
if you really need to go, you shit in a bucket. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, I've been underground. I've been underground a couple of times just through work and whatever, and like, fuck that, man. Like, it's a fucking thing. You got to be a hard ass to do that for a living. Fuck that.
Yeah.
And be very regular so you can get it out of the way first thing in the morning when you wake up before you go to work. You don't want to get caught short. Yeah, but the thing is,
they did 12-hour shifts, mate.
Yeah.
I probably couldn't do a 12-hour without doing a fucking dunk.
That is, we've finally reached the point where I've finally learned enough about Matt that I can say, no, stop. I know enough. That was the bridge too far. How regular are Matt's bowel movements?
Dunkaroos.
What's the investigation in the shower shitter is still ongoing. No perpetrator has yet been found. Police are continuing to ask employees for all information. Look, they worked out to within 10 blokes who it was because they went through the fucking security footage of who was in there and who wasn't. And they got them all in a room and went, we know one of you did it and none of them broke.
Guys, listen up. We're going to plug something. If you like this kind of conversation, this is what the Patreon cast is. Once a month. This is it. Without any agenda. It's just me, Log, and Keggy catching up for a beer and these dumbass conversations.
Yeah, I mean,
so if you like that,
it was a bit of an unintentional plug for though. Because we don't have enough Destiny shit to talk about. It wasn't me. That's not why I call myself Log. But if you want to start conspiracy theories, go right ahead.
I've told you about the cubicle one, haven't I?
What cubicle one? I mean, so look, we're here, right? We've got another 5 minutes dedicated to stories about shits, and then we'll do Destiny, okay? I'm keeping my eye on it.
All right. All right. So
it's good to laugh.
In high school.
Isn't it?
It's good to laugh. In high school, right? Look, I wasn't the cool kid, but I wasn't the nerds. And every little area of like, I'm sure this is the same regardless of country. In America, in Australia, in England, anywhere, right? Anywhere. You've got your spot where you sit.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Right?
Of course.
And because we weren't the cool kids, all the nerds, we like sat outside one of the main toilet blocks. Like we just happened to have...
Man, surely that's the lowest rung.
I mean...
you're not cool enough to sit in the cool spot. You're not smart enough to realize he's sitting outside a fucking toilet all day. You idiot. Doctor, by the way. It was
also convenient. It was convenient. Anyway, and like we used to do funny shit, like well, not funny shit. What you would think is funny as a teenager, like if you saw one of your mates go in there, you'd be like, "Oh, let's get him." So you wait for him to, get his dick out and start punching him or something like that when he's at the urinal.
Yeah, when he's completely helpless at his lowest end.
Yeah.
You fucking,
yeah. We're going to like mug him.
Yeah.
Like our friends, not people we didn't know, like mug our friends, And then so what I'm saying is we had high surveillance on the toilets. We could see who would go in and who would go out. Okay? And one day, this is where the myth of cubicle one started. So, there's cubicles. The first cubicle, I'm not joking. And if camera phones were around, I would have evidence. This turd was so fucking huge. It went from the base, it came out of the water. I'm not joking. It was as thick as your arm. Right? It was. And then there was no toilet paper. There was no toilet paper.
Yeah, but someone's had a crack at flushing it. It's fucking not gone.
As a joke, we tried to flush it. It didn't move. And it stayed there for like a week.
Oh,
right? And so then began, because like, who the fuck did this? It's the cubicle one
need to
shitter.
know. You'd need
so
to
what
know,
happened was, anytime anyone walked in, we're like, is that them? We would just be like, is that the fucking cubicle one, the mysterious shitter?
The cubicle one bandit.
It was a legend that lived on for years at the
They're
school.
probably still talking about it at your high school now. The legend of cubicle one. The unflushable arm width turd. The only thing that we used to do, right? We used to go out to the toilet, can I go to the toilet in the middle of class? And because the plumbing at my school was so shit, you could find a point on all of the taps so that they'd make that like fucking noise. So you just used to go in there and turn them all on so the whole fucking block would be vibrating. Just go at about 7 different frequencies and then just come back and sit down in class and just be like, nothing's going on. I've gotten so much shit for that.
Imagine being a teacher. Who would
fuck
fucking
that?
want
What kind of
that
idiot
job?
would want to do that for a living?
Oh, not idiot. They're people
very
we need
caring,
in society.
loving people. Yeah.
They're people we need.
But honestly, the fucking tap organ. All right, you want to talk about some Destiny shit after talking about literal shit?
Yeah, might as well.
I'll play this thing and we'll go into talking about the TWAB. All of that's distracted, by the way, from the fact that you fucking eat pizza with a knife and fork. But we're going to move on regardless. We might circle back to that at the end. Everyone can fucking flame me about it. All right. So, I don't know. Look, we might talk a little bit of lore after this. So we've obviously had the Endless Night has progressed. We've now got giant Roy Orbisons of Taken Goodness in the middle of the tower that no one seems to be paying attention to. You know, you walk around and look at all the NPCs that are normally there, and it's kind of startling that there's some security guards that have actually got their back to a fucking giant orb. So I think there's a few little continuity errors there that maybe we need to address going forward, but I think it's cool. It was good to have that spoiled all over social media, though, before I got the chance to go and have a look for myself.
Yeah, you know what's great about Twitter now? All the heat is off YouTube, because YouTubers used to be the ones that always spoil everything. Now it's Twitter. I'm like, get wrecked.
I just think, like, I mean, we're even cagey about it on here, right? Like, I mean, it was a big thing through the week where it was like, oh, just don't go on social media. Man, my social media life doesn't revolve around fucking Destiny. I'm going on there and looking at other shit as well. I'm not going to, like, just tag your shit or don't put spoilers in your fucking stuff. The end. Don't be a dick. That's it.
What's the etiquette? What do you tag it with? Spoilers.
Spoilers.
And then what, people can set up their Twitter to basically get rid of spoilers?
Yeah, you just mute anything containing the word spoilers. The hashtag spoilers.
Right. So it's not that hard.
It's fucking easy, but you know why people don't do it? Because they want people to see their stuff. So there's a trade-off that happens. I've thought about this a bit. Like, if you say we're creating content that you wanted to be widely circulated, you wouldn't do that because then people wouldn't see it, would you? So you're basically choosing to, no, I want people to see it whether they want to or not, so that I get the clicks.
I mean, I have this conversation with myself all the time because, I mean, YouTube even more so. YouTube's not even like just for the clicks. It's like, hey, if I want to get paid this month, I better get out content quickly. And it's a constant race. And then you got to justify like what you put in the thumbnail, what you put in the title, and how you phrase stuff to,
I think,
not spoil it.
I think the etiquette on YouTube is a bit stronger though, right?
Yeah,
like, I feel like it's kind of like people used to get absolutely fucking belted for doing the wrong thing. And it's kind of evolved to the point where everyone just knows better. That it's not worth a hassle to do that. But I think Twitter is like, I don't know, it needs to probably go the same way. I mean, I'm sure it still happens on YouTube, mind you. I've definitely seen things on YouTube that I didn't want to see and whatnot. So that's part of it.
I think the difference with like Twitter is like on YouTube, if someone does it to you, people just unsubscribe, right? And you never see it again. Whereas on Twitter, if you like a post, the network, it's so good at like just showing you shit that you don't follow.
Yeah.
That you potentially will see a spoiler.
Yeah, and look, I've seen plenty from people that I don't follow. So it's basically you're then at the choice, do you mute them? And like, you know, and they're good people doing good things. So you may not want to mute them, but you know, just spoiler tag your shit. It's not that fucking hard. Or be a little bit more vague, right? There's a fucking, you can kind of tell people things without telling them things. You can allude to things. It's a fucking skill. Develop it. It's not like, here's the thing that happened. Look at it. Fuck.
So I mean, the thing about the take and ball things in the city, like
I don't really give a shit about that. Like that was
a pretty low tier on the tier list of spoilers. It's pretty low tier because nothing really happened apart from that changing. But
yeah,
I also get that point of like everything's a spoiler until I've played it.
Yeah, I mean, so, we're kind of in uncharted territory now too, and to be fair, that's in defense of the people who kind of have gone and done this kind of thing. I think it's unfair to just sort of shoot the messenger and say, you know, like, fuck you, you're doing it on purpose, because there's a lot of people still adjusting to this, basically the stuff that you've been dealing with for quite some time, Maddie, in terms of like, when do you choose to roll something out? I mean, you go and there's a shitload of stuff in the API that you could access law-wise, but the law community has always had that kind of, I don't know. I mean, it seems to be like a bit of an ethical decision to go, well, until it's in the game, we don't do it.
Well, look,
we don't cover it.
Well, it's a couple of things. It's like my judgment is this. I look at it from multiple perspectives and I go, does this complement what is happening in game? Because sometimes, and this season is very different than previous. This season, like whatever happens in the lore, we're almost seeing in game. Previous seasons don't always do that. They're either like, or to give a better example, there's a whole book for this season about a different plot line. And I don't think you'll see any of it in game, right? But technically I can read it. And maybe you can't get access to it quite yet. But technically I could read it and I could post about it. It's about it's about a fallen fucking weaving up. It's actually the lore book for transmog.
Yeah. I know the one you're talking about.
Right.
I fucking believe it or not, read it.
And it's a great book. And
it's interesting.
I don't think that would spoil anything. The book that's in line with what's taking place, I've specifically avoided the very last entry because I'm predicting something will happen at the end of the season that will introduce that entry.
Yeah.
It might not, but
no, I think you're right. I think it would be odd if nothing happens because it would kind of just be this. It's almost like you read that entry and there's assumed knowledge of something having happened that you can jump to the conclusion of if you've read it, but it doesn't implicitly. It's kind of weird. It's pretty grey. Yeah. I think that's the thing. Like where Destiny is now, week to week storytelling is incredible. We're loving that, but we're going to be. There's definitely new challenges around it. How do you address that? When you're covering the plot points of this sort of stuff. I don't know. I don't like. I mean, Twitter is great at like, here's an image that captivates something, boom, and in the right context, that's incredibly powerful. Like you look at Gamma's art or anything like that. Like visual media can be shared super quickly, but when it's something that contains something that ruins something for someone. It's the exact opposite in terms of like, you look at it, it's gone now. You've seen it, and that sucks. And when it's something that's as fucking, largely inconsequential as fucking blights turning up in the tower, who gives a shit? But we've got to like be a bit more serious about preventing it because at some point something's going to happen that is a big deal. And if we don't fucking come to a way of like trying to deal with it and people develop the fucking skills of, okay, well, here's the way to tactfully present this content where it's just going to be people screaming at each other, which it probably will anyway. So maybe I'm just being idealistic, but I don't know. Anyway, that's the thing that happened.
There you go.
All right, let's jump into the TWAB. We'll do a bit of the old reading, get my peepers on. Look, I'm going to preface this by saying it was an incredibly light TWAB this week. There was not a lot in it. But what we do get, we're getting the extensions on the Dreaming City and Moon loot pools back in the loot pool. So how they brought back some of these weapons. We could get some of them. Now we can get all of them. So there's new or newish guns coming. They can roll perks that they never used to roll with and all that sort of stuff. So
from where do I get them? World loot.
Oh, look, here we are. Right. I'm going to show the picture. I'm going to read the thing.
Okay.
Here we go. Bloody button didn't work. What a meme. Oh, capture card shit itself. Look at that, everyone. Don't buy an Elgato. Fucking it'll split your shit in half. Oh, hang on. Right, I'm just going to read it out. Back in January, we announced that 4 weapons from the Dreaming City and 4 weapons from the Moon were being reissued with new perks, but we had not bought them all back yet. In our next update, currently scheduled for the 7th of the 6th of the, I don't know, fucking American dates. Just do it the right way around. Day, month, year. It's fucking simple. On the 6th of July.
Bro, it's a true fact.
I know. Just, we got to be different. Fucking turn it backwards. Oh. In what world is knowing the fucking month first important?
But do you know what it is helpful for? Saving saving like documents because it'll like if you list them by like name, they'll be in chronological order.
Yeah, but you know what? Windows has sort by date. It's irrelevant.
I mean, you make a good point.
I just
Make a strong rebuttal.
I live in that shit. Okay? I've managed to get by writing fucking report after report at work and investigating stuff, and I've never ever had to resort to using fucking backward dates to do it. So there we go. Fix your fucking dates. It's a joke. We're an international community now. Get on with it. Anyway, so on the 6th of July, and that's happening, they'll be reissuing the remaining Moon and Dreaming City weapons with new perks. All of these weapons will drop from their original sources on their respective destination. Here is the full list of the weapons along with an example of the new perks they can each roll with. All right, so we have the Loud Lullaby. These are the Moon ones. The Loud Lullaby now has tunnel vision. One small step with Trench Barrel. Interesting. Trenchy's a perk that in the right hands can be pretty powerful. Tranquility has Frenzy. Arc Logic has Heating Up. So old guns with some breaking new perks that we've only seen sort of over the last season. Dreambreaker has Cornered. Every Waking Moment. Or every wanking moment, as the unfortunate typo on Reddit called it. I mean, like, if that's your Freudian slip, you're in deep shit. Every wanking moment. Love and Death has Chain Reaction. A Fine Memorial has Adrenaline Junkie, and Night Terror has One for All. But I think the real big bickies here are the Dreaming City weapons. Maybe I'm giving a little bit away about my preferences anyway, but the Tiger Spite, Twilight Oath, fucking Oath, and Abide the Return are making a return. Tiger Spite has Frenzy, Twilight Oath has Vorpal Weapon, and Abide the Return has Thresh. So Twilight Oath was always one of those snipers that people loved. It'll be interesting to see it come back. And see what, I don't know. See if anything's really changed with it. But with Vorpal Weapon against supers, oh boy. Maybe that's maybe they like the fact that you can absolutely shred anyone in super with a DMT with Vorpal.
Yeah, I mean, DMT is still there, so don't worry about it.
Oh, for God, that needs to go in the bin. Anyway. All right. And Iron Banner is coming back on the 7th of the 6th of the 7th. Is that 7th? And going for a week. No, the 29th it's coming back. It's coming back on the 6th of the 29th.
You've made your point, mate.
The 6th of Fantabuary. It's coming back. I don't want to labour on it too much. Have I annoyed everyone yet? Good. All right. That's kind of about it. So there's really, really super light TWAB. Yeah. All right. So, Law Boy, what did you cover in the law this week? You didn't do law this week or last week.
Got banned. What's going on, mate?
What's going on? The hammer hath swung.
I think he was joking at.
Paper's all right. Paper's in my stream. We can bring him back. You won't do it again.
You bring Paper back. He was joking. It was a joke.
Don't fuck with the Etz hammer. You'll get it. Paper fucked around and found out.
So, what did you ask? What the law's about?
Yeah, what do you like? Because we didn't talk about law last week because you've been a grumble bum.
I released a video this morning. Did you know that?
I did because you were talking about it in our chat last night. But no, I haven't seen it. By the way, I haven't had a chance to watch it.
People in chat right now, I give you permission if it hasn't already been used. But the first 1,000 sponsorship, honestly. Whenever you say this, people are like, nah, don't believe you, sell out. The product that I gave today, which was not shill up, what's it called? Skillshare, my sponsor.
We're gonna have to get him on because he's actually really cool.
Not shill up, Skillshare.
Skillshare.
Oh,
yes.
D&D. I haven't talked about D&D either. We'll say that too.
Yeah.
Skillshare. Like if you're trying to learn, well, for me, I'm using it for Adobe, like Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Premiere Pro, which are all stuff that I just taught myself out of necessity. Whenever I need to do something, I just teach myself and I go through fucking 10 YouTube videos until I find the one that actually works. but these are like dedicated classes. That it's like 100 lessons, and it goes through every aspect, and is really really good. The first 1,000 people get a 1 month trial. So if you're trying to get into YouTube, or you just want to make videos, or you're trying to, there's like photography course on there. There's creative writing on there. Anything that's like creative arts sort of learning, you can do. So there you go.
So Log potentially could take a class to format dates properly. Go fuck yourself. If there is a class for formatting dates correctly in Skillshare, I will take it on stream. And there you go.
So, End of the Law, the video.
Yes.
I went for a video about Shaxxy.
Shaxxy Poo.
Shaxxy Poo. We got a bit of insights. Dog shit weapon, fantastic law. Survivors
Epitaph.
Epitaph or TAF. I said epitaph, and then I did some pronunciations. I all said epitaph.
Epitaph sounds a bit more like if it was a good gun, I'd accept epitaph. But given it's not, it's just epitaph.
Epitaph. I just knew epitaph. It's epitaph, mate. It says very much more Australian. Do you know?
Going down the epitaph. Put some bets on, mate.
Put some bets on.
Anyway.
Right. And essentially, Shaxx rocks up to Mithrax, and, let's do a bit of role play here. Right, Loggy?
Yep.
What do you think would be a good conversation to bring up with a fallen character?
What? Is this sarcasm?
Yeah. You could give me a sarcastic response.
And from the perspective of Shaxx, like something like Twilight Gap, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, "Oi, were you there?" Mithrax's like, "What do you mean? 6 fronts? Like when yo people attacked us, right?" And then Shaxx, Mithrax gets very sort of uncomfortable, and then Shaxx basically says, "Yeah, I killed heaps of fallen." Then Mithrax gets uncomfortable again. Yeah. And then he says, "How many humans you kill?" And then Mithrax says, "Heaps, I killed heaps of humans too." And then Shaxx gives a bit of insight into his warlock days, which is
what?
We actually had when he was warlord.
Oh,
not
I'm
warlock.
There's probably 10 seconds there where you can see me in like emotional freefall. If you want to go back and watch the fucking clip. Like, what? Yeah. Right. Okay.
Warlord days. There was one, and this is some of the best lore that's ever been written. It's in the web lore, and it was when Fel went to challenge Shaxx.
Yeah.
And Shaxx knocked his fucking head off, and I've got a fucking disc plate of it.
Yeah,
from Brandon McCamey, right? Knocked his fucking head in. But that lore is very much about Shaxx doing what it takes to protect the people. It's written in quite a nice... He's only vicious because he needs to be vicious.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This lore tab, Shaxx admits to killing 3 humans with his bare hands because they stole food.
Yeah.
Pretty heavy.
No, and look, it's a continuation of the kind of thing we're starting to see with a lot of Destiny characters. I mean, probably most notably Saint, where it's kind of blurring the line around this is, like, are they good? There's that context of like, they're basically taking characters that we thought were righteous and smearing them, making them much more grey. And I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. So, really interesting. I mean, it's on a, I love when lore tabs do that. I think that's a great space for for weapon lore tabs to be in. Is sort of like,
Yeah, it's
we're
sort of like
gonna take a bit of the story and just sort of develop it a little bit more.
yeah, a little bit. And it's kind of more anecdotal, right? Like it's not really progressing a story element. It's just coloring in the background. And I think that the more we get of that, the better.
Yeah, it sort of just explains how it's not as straightforward, and it also gives another perspective on. I mean, this is potentially the way that Shaxx hints at it. This is potentially the first time he's told anyone about the truth of his like warlord days and what he had to do.
Bit of a guilty conscience coming out, maybe.
Yeah,
or in terms of Mithrax, given that that's who he's talking to, maybe he sees Mithrax as someone who maybe has had to do the same thing.
Yeah, well, that's what Mithrax said.
Yeah.
He's killed these people too. So, a nice moment there between characters. I think it's great. I think it's such good character development, and everything this season's been fantastic. Lore-wise, story-wise.
They definitely haven't
They're hitting home runs. We said that last time. The one thing people haven't complained about in the last couple of seasons is fucking story, mate.
Yeah, it's there. It's where I don't know. I mean, and that's why, like, bringing it full circle to what we started talking Destiny stuff about with the spoilers. People that are invested, they fucking care. Like, if this was content that people were like ambivalent about, you'd get away with doing that sort of shit. But people are fucking violently defensive of, no, I care about this. I want to experience this for myself. So it just goes to show how passionate people are about it. What did you do last week? I can't even remember. What else have you done lately? Because we haven't had a good lore yarn for a little while.
I played Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance.
Yeah. I watched about 10 minutes of it.
So interesting. It got a lot. It got piled on. It got piled on hard.
Yep.
Skill Up, who I watch almost watch all of his reviews, and he is well regarded as being. I mean, he's up there with being one of the best sort of on the most well. It's hard to say someone's the best reviewer, but like.
No, I think he
does.
Look, I mean, we're probably biased because he's an Aussie and whatever. And we I used to roll my eyes a little bit because he just used to shit so hard on Destiny. But maybe it needed the shit at the point that it was at. No, it's just being a little bit biased.
And by the way, he's well back addicted to Destiny now too, which is hilarious.
Yeah, not like, I mean, and I think that was probably why his commentary hit so hard at the time, was because it was coming from the perspective of someone who wanted to invest themselves in it and couldn't because of all the issues with it. So he's definitely someone that I look to in terms of I don't watch all that many game reviews, but I did see his, and I did. And then I wonder what Matt's doing. And that was sure enough. So I'm like, oof. Let's see how this goes.
So I literally saw that thumbnail and I went into playing it thinking, it's like when you go into a movie and you're like, oh, fuck, this is going to be the worst movie I've ever seen. And then I was like, oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And and then I went back and watched his video and I thought, let me see if I can get what, because I definitely have some complaints about it. But honestly, there is a difference between playing a game before it's released and mostly doing it solo and like playing it with your buds. And
that was the thing. That was what I got from you. You were fucking laughing your ass off through all of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I was having a really fun time, but we did a collaborative stream with Patrick Static. We had heaps of people in there. We had early access. So there was a lot of things that made my experience better. There were still fundamental things in the game that I didn't like. The main thing was the AI was super janky. And that was his big complaint. But like, there was also a lot of like mechanical things that I didn't see because I didn't do single player.
Yep.
And he seemed like he did a lot of single player, like with staminas and just respawn and checkpoints and boss difficulty and those kind of things sort of get faded away. And I found that when we did 4-player, it was way dumb. It was literally just the enemies couldn't even hit you back. You just stun lock them.
Yeah, you just.
And obviously, when you're at like single player, it's too hard. But when we did like duos, I actually like really enjoyed it. Like it was sort of had a lot of tactics involved. The AI was still pretty janky, but I wouldn't have called it the worst game this year. That's for sure. But that being said, I think it's going to suffer the same fate as Outriders, which is like not live service. People don't want to get into it. Not a first-person shooter.
One and done.
Relatively bad. Enough bad press that people won't jump into it. Enough bad press that people will be like, it's not worth my time because it's close to a full-price game.
It's look. I want to say it's a shame, but at the same time, that's the game, right? Like that's where game development is now. The bar is incredibly high, and it's you look at things like Cyberpunk and the shit that's happened with that. Expectations are as high as the mark, right? So, I don't know. If you miss, you miss. But it would be nice to see sort of like, especially who devved it, because wasn't it their first hit out?
Wizards of the Coast. That was publisher, I think.
Yeah, because I'd like for people to be able to build, for organizations to be able to build, and you're not going to be able to be fucking Bungie if you first fucking swing of the bat, are you? So you got to start somewhere, but at the same time, maybe that's it. Competition makes everything better, so that's where we are.
I mean, this was like the hard thing. If you're going to have like a beat 'em up brawling game,
yep.
Like if you play Mordhau or Chivalry, you can't have lag and latency. If you play
it feels terrible.
What's the Ubisoft one?
Oh, For Honor.
Right? Any of those games.
Yeah, that was we had a heap of fun, admittedly, with that when it first came out. Before it really, it was where, even more so than Destiny, I think it devolved into a meta where basically everyone picked the same fucking pike man within about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But you were right. If someone's lagging in a game like that where it's hand-to-hand combat and like you're needing to parry and shit, like fucking good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, so some of the fundamental thing, like, I mean, you weren't even versing people; it was just enemies. But that's how janky it felt. Like,
yeah, right.
The enemies were just like their AI wasn't very good. They would just stare at you for ages, and then when they did try to hit you, if you wanted to parry, like you had to basically parry like almost visually after you got hit.
Oh wow! Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Got it. And it's So,
I jumped onto Sea of Thieves on Wednesday night, popped in to check out all the fanfare about the Pirates life, the Jack Sparrow fucking Pirates of the Caribbean edition of the game. Mate, I'll tell you what, Sea of Thieves, when it came out, right, I kind of wish that they'd held off for a year and had more of this tall tale stuff in there, because like I'm playing through the whole fucking thing, right? Like Sea of Thieves as a game is...
Wait, you went and done it? No.
I've still got... I only did the first of 5 tall tales, and it took us like... I mean, we were just going around looking at everything, pottering around, and because there's so many little Easter eggs and nods to the films and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, it was just Friday night, last night.
No, Wednesday. So
I didn't think you got on because no one had it.
No, I did.
Was that Monday?
Yeah, we blasted through the fucking VOG. We did a VOG in like 45 minutes and then jumped over to Sea of Thieves and everyone else went to bed. But
oh, right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'll probably give it a run tonight, to be honest. It was a hell of a lot of fun. I think they are doing service to the characters really fucking well. But like Sea of Thieves as a game when you're talking about the sandbox, it can be fucking punishingly difficult, man. Like it is. And I don't know, it looks like a kiddie's fucking pirate game, but some of the behavior in that game is so fucking toxic, it's ridiculous. It makes Destiny look like fucking kindergarten because people you will just get fucked repeatedly by people who are aggressive, and there's nothing you can do about it if you don't have the skill to get away from them, right? So that's part of what's happened with the tall tales and stuff, because the way you enter them is in the public world. So people have been like camping the entry points and just being fuckwits. So now they're like literally banning people for any kind of griefing and all that sort of stuff. So I think that's positive.
What's the point though? How can you ban people for that? Well, that's part of the game.
Yeah, that's griefing is like the repeated just stomping on people for fucking no benefit. If you come up on someone and sink them once.
No,
right?
That's bullshit. That's the game, cunt.
I mean, it is to an extent.
Yeah, You
I don't
ban
know.
people for grieving?
But what they're doing is they're camping the portal that you use to get into the story part and just kicking the shit out of people before they can.
That's their fucking fault. They
It seems like a design fault, right?
Spawn protection.
Yeah. So I think in this instance, they're actually banning people for doing that, which, you know, they've done a little bit in the past, but not to this level. But to get back to what I was saying is like when Sea of Thieves first launched, it was like the sandbox and there was no fucking story really. And you went around and did kind of boring fetch quests. And it was basically that you made your own adventure, right? I wish it had launched in the state it is currently now because it would have fucking been massive. I think like a lot of people are finding it now, and I think that the timing of doing the Disney thing now is good because it's a big tentpole kind of release, right, to bring things back. But I was playing.
Give me an example. Is it just fetch? Because the other quest is fetch quests. So what happens?
Like,
no spoilers, but like, so it's actual story.
Yeah, like you basically go into it.
Now I want to play it with you.
No, I'll play it with you anytime. Yeah,
can we grief people?
Honestly, and Aura and Sassy yell at me, but anytime I see anyone, my instinct is we're gonna go and kill them, and they get angry at me.
Yes,
so maybe I do need to put together a grief crew to go and do not that we're grief camp portals or anything, but honestly, playing through the whole thing, the one thing that I'm like, I can't wait till my oldest daughter's just a little bit older so I can play through this with her because she'd fucking love it. Because it's kind of like, it's spooky enough to be a little bit spooky. It's fucking, dude, whoever the VA that they've got doing Jack Sparrow and fucking Davy Jones and shit, like, they are on point. It's kind of like...
When can we have time to play Papa Log?
I'll be playing
I have to play at night time.
Yeah, I don't play through the day. Oh, I'll just quit my job because it suits you better. What do you reckon? You fucking idiot.
I tell you what, you give me your boss's number and I'll give him a call and I'll guarantee I'll get you a day off.
I reckon you might get me more than one day off. I reckon you might get me maybe a year off.
Maybe especially complete lifetime off from work.
But, I mean, it's on Game Pass. It's on Game Pass.
Bad news. The good news and bad news.
What's that?
The good news is you can play games with. Bad news is you got no job.
Good news is games all day. Bad news is poverty. Anyway. Career. But Mylan's going to talk my boss into getting my whole career off for the rest of my life.
Is it free?
It's on Game Pass, so it's not free, but it's fucking cheap, man. And all the expansions for it since forever have been free. They're completely free.
Remind me of Game Pass. I
don't know.
Wait, is it only on...
I bought Sea of Thieves when it came out, so I haven't had to worry. I'm not subscribed to Game Pass, but I think it's the subscription service that... Look, I'll Google it.
Hold on. If I'm on Game Pass and you've bought it outright, we can still join each other, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, if you're playing it through Game Pass, you are... Yeah, you're not restricted anyway.
Yeah, but Hate to Lose brings up a good point, mate.
What's that?
When can we get a Sunday stream in? Oh, for the content.
You know what I will do? You know what I will do?
What?
I'll give you Rachel's number and you can ring her up.
Oh, fuck no. I'd rather talk to your boss, cunt. I'd rather talk to your fucking boss.
What you need to do is convince Danny and then get Danny to call Rach. And if they can come to some kind of agreement, then silly things have happened.
Do you know what?
What?
Danny actually might like playing Sea of Thieves.
Do we do a double date Sea of Thieves stream? I'm going to need to train you up, man, because there's no way I'm trying to teach fucking 3 people how to play that shit at once. Especially when there's like, if I fuck it up, I've got to like live with it. Okay. Because Rach and I are very, very similar people in that like if we piss each other off, it goes downhill real quick.
I'll tell you what, if we don't have plans tonight, I'm going to pitch to Danny that we do a cocky tail night with Uncle Log. And she plays Sea of Thieves, and I'll be on cocktail duties.
All right.
If we don't have anything else planned in, I'll pitch that. What time are you getting on?
Usual, like 8:30 my time. Anyway, this is not really a podcast anymore. I mean,
It's
I
just
don't
me and
know.
Log
But
talking about plans.
this is normally like the 5 minutes that happens after the podcast before we each go our separate ways for a week. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's
hold on. Can you have Xbox crossplay? Because I got an Ekibox as well.
yeah. You
So I
can play
think
on
now
both.
it's not plugged in or anything.
Yeah, it's just an expensive paperweight at the moment, but yeah, you can get you'll have to use game. Oh, that'll complicate things. We'll figure it out though. It's fine.
I have 2 Game Pass accounts.
Yeah.
I
don't know. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me say this.
Yes.
Danny's favorite game so far. All right.
Yep.
Zelda. Witcher 3. Where does Sea of Thieves fit into this?
Oh. It's it's probably in there a little bit in terms of like once you understand the mechanics, it's pretty open. But that's it. It's like everything does something. It's kind of hard in that way because you don't just walk up to anything and push E to do the job. It's kind of like you go up to the sails and you got to adjust them and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're into that, you're into it. And I think like if you're not, it's just a pain in the ass and a hassle. It doesn't feel like much of a game, right? To get a ship moving. But it is open world and all of that sort of stuff. So it's got that going for it. There's swords, as Millions saying. So you can stab people and you can go and visit Jack Sparrow. And more importantly, the dog with the keys in its mouth is in there as well. So
she would like the pets.
yeah. I'll go pet monkey. Sass has his actual dog that looks like Lita. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, we put it in a cannon and shoot it at things. You should hear it. Like you should have fucking the dog out of the cannon and goes, oh, it's funny. And then it just turns back up on the ship, so you get to do it again. How good.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good.
Yeah, all right. So if you've got any questions from chat that are even related to, I guess, anything at all in the world, fire away now. It's been a pretty free-form show, and I think that every now and then we do one of them, so fire away. What was that other game you played that looked like a fucking Tool film clip, Matt? The one that Watts put you onto? Grime or something? Or
Oh, yeah. I played some other demos. I played... Yeah, it was called Grime and 2D platformer Dark Soulsy. I don't really feel like it got going. Like it was hard to make it. I feel like just as you sort of learned the mechanics, the demo ended. So it didn't quite get the shot to really see what it had.
Very odd in terms of its presentation and that though. Like I liked it. I was sitting there watching you play it while I was doing the upload and stuff last week. But I like honestly, it was like a game set in a fucking Tool film clip. That was the only real way I can convey the vibe.
Did we talk about Death Trash last week?
Yeah, where you killed the Kraken.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Flesh Kraken.
Yeah, I know. Look, we've already ruined one podcast with the phrase "flesh kraken." Let's not do it again.
I had a horrific experience playing Idol Manager. I did. You know how sometimes I do stuff as a joke, like all the time.
Yes.
And I got a raid from Watts, and then I was like, okay. And she's like, play Idol Manager, and it's literally like a K-pop simulator, I think.
What? Like what you sing?
No, you have to manage idols.
So what you're saying is it's like manager mode in FIFA, but with K-pop band.
Yeah, but it's like Japanese anime. But it's on the border of being really fucking creepy as well for me.
Yeah, I mean, there are overtones in games like that. I mean, like Doki Doki and all that shit.
Yeah, it's in the same genre as that. Yeah. And I don't know. I think it's. Yeah, I think you do you.
PTD says no, not the singing part, the abusive teenagers part. So that is about all I need to know about Idol Manager, and we can file that in the bin.
Like
and move on.
when someone has like a sexy meter, I start getting a bit like, look at me, mate. The FBI's gonna be on me, knocking on my fucking door if I keep playing this game any longer.
Yeah. Like that is the thing. You feel like any game that makes you feel like you're a fucking creep is probably not a very great game.
And then chat's like, what if someone walks in and sees me watching this? So I'm like, all right, we're turning it off.
How am I going to explain this? It's like being caught watching fucking Ricardo Milos or something. How am I going to explain this video to my parents? It's funny.
You winning, son? Huh?
No.
Turn the screen off.
All right. Look, I think we're done here, Maddie. Have you got anything else you want to talk about?
No.
No. All right. Cool. Bye.
So imagine this.
All right. What are we imagineering?
People are literally starving. Humanity's gone from just a high level technology to a full on collapse in society. You see 3 hooded figures running through the street and you spot a loaf of bread under one of their arms. So you follow, you're in hot pursuit. You get to them. All right, chat, you got to vote. Do you call, you corner the 3 people? They look up to you and they've got a loaf of bread. And they're like, please, sir, we're hungry. You don't know if you should trust them. Right, chat, yes or no? Do you call Daddy Shaxx? Yes to call, no to not call Shaxx. Do you call Daddy Warlord Shaxx?
What is Daddy Shaxx going to do? He's going to punch him to death. Is that?
Let them, yes or no? Yes to call, no to leave.
I don't think any Australian, being a nation that was founded on convicts that was sent out here for pinching bread, which seems a largely disproportionate response to pinching bread, is to be sent to the other side of the planet, can support Shaxx in this. I'm going to say that. I like Shaxx a little bit less after hearing that.
Okay. Chat's voted no. You say, okay, I understand. It's a time of famine. The leader of the pack holding the loaf of bread approaches you. Thank you, sir. Yeah! Knifes you straight in the chest. You fall down dead. They say, sucker, we're from a rival settlement. Our warlord sends his regards. And they run off. See you next time, kids. Wrong decision.
Well, you won't see him next time because they're fucking dead.
No, that's the end of the podcast, I mean.
Well, I mean, they're still dead. Anyway, goodbye. Cruel world.
Bye.